Hello guys in room 1, it's Carly, your absent teacher. I've decided that you guys are going to need some language for the next couple weeks because you cannot go this long without any language. So, before we start that though, I feel a bit better. I have no more bronchitis. However, the broken rib is quite painful. Gotta say, don't recommend getting a broken rib. In case you're wondering, no, it was not in the same spot that I had that cartilage issue with in December of last year. That was between my 6th and 7th rib, and I have broken down at my 10th rib. So, let's begin. One of the things that you guys are going to need for high school and in next year is how to write essays. However, essays are a very difficult thing to write with no experience. So what we're going to do over the next couple weeks by distance education and next term is we are going to work our way towards writing proper essays. To start that, we are going to use report writing as a basis because you're going to find there's a lot of overlap in report writing and essay writing. Both have introductions and conclusions, both have key ideas with support sentences. Really, the only difference is a small change in structure. So, for today, Monday's lesson, we are going to start by looking at a piece of nonfiction work. Now, all of you should have a copy of the Nesting and Life Cycles of the Bees. Yours should be unhighlighted and in much larger print than this. If you don't have this, you're going to need to go get it now from Richard. So pause the video and go grab it. You're also going to need a highlighter of some sort. Go ahead. I'll wait. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at this article together and we are going to highlight important ideas that we come across. Now, what's an important idea in nonfiction? Well, it could be something as simple as, hey, I did not know that fact. That is something new I have learned. Or maybe it's something you already knew but gives you more detail about it. For example, I didn't know you could break a rib by coughing. I didn't know you could break ribs though. So maybe for me, if I was reading about ribs, the important fact isn't so much that they break, but they can be broke by coughing. Okay? So here we have an article about the nesting and life cycle of the bee. Now, many of you know what a bee is. I'm hoping you all know at one form or another that a bee is one of those small little insects that flies around and helps pollinate the flowers. Very critical for our food cycle. So, the article in front of us says, bees vary greatly in nesting practices depending on the species. They may be classified as social bees, solitary bees, and parasitic bees, also called guest bees or cuckoo bees. Ah, I say to myself, actually, this was new to me too, guys. I had no idea there was 3 different types of bees. So, on my sheet with my highlighter, I'm going to highlight the word social bees, solitary bees, and parasitic bees, because for me, that's an important fact or new information. Let's keep reading. Social bees are members of colonies in which they cooperate with others to build the nest and feed and protect the young. Colonies may contain as few as 10 or as many as 80,000 bees. There are 2 kinds of females among the social bees, and they look quite different. The sexually mature, fertile females called queens are long and slender. The sexually undeveloped females called workers are small and chunky. The workers become their mother queen's helpers as housekeepers, nurses of the young and builders, guards to keep intruders from the nest, and foragers for food. Now what in there was new? Well, this is what I thought bees were. Always live in nests, always have a queen. So for me, there's not a whole lot of information, but maybe what I'm going to do is highlight the important details or facts. So in this case, I might highlight social bees are members of a colony, because that's the important part of a social bee. They live in a colony. I might highlight something like they cooperate with others, they build nests, they protect their young, they feed. Okay? Because these are all things specific to the colonies. And I might highlight something like 2 kinds of females, because we're dealing with a colony here, right? There's 2 types of females, a queen and a worker. I already knew that, but it is important for the idea of a social bee. Only about 500 species of the more than 20,000 species of bees are social. These include honeybees, bumblebees, and tropical stingless bees. Now here's something new for me. I had no idea that there were 20,000 species of bees, and I certainly didn't think that only 500 species of those were social. So I'm going to highlight the sentence, 500 species of more than 20,000 species of bees are social, because that's important. It's new, it's different, it's information. Solitary bees only care for themselves and their immediate brood. Each female makes her own nest and cares for her offspring. The vast majority of bees are solitary, including leafcutter bees, mining bees, and carpenter bees. There's lots of new information in here for me. So, I think I'm going to have to highlight solitary bees care only for themselves and their immediate brood, because that's the key thing about a solitary bee. They only look after themselves and only their own eggs. And then it says each female makes her own nest and cares for her own offspring. That's what makes them different than the social bee, so I think I probably have to highlight that too. They make their own nest and they only look after their own young. And really important here, I think, majority of bees are solitary. Well, I just found out there's 20,000 species and it says the majority of them are solitary. So I think that's important to the bees to know that the majority of the 20,000 species are solitary. Parasitic bees, or guest bees, have no body parts for collecting pollen and do not feed or care for their offspring. They sneak into the nests of related species of bees to lay their eggs. The larvae that develop from these eggs are not welcome guests, because they often have huge jaws and use them to kill the larvae of their hosts. Parasitic bees are sometimes called cuckoo bees, because, like the European cuckoo, which is a bird, they lay their eggs in the nests of others. Many species of sweat bees are parasitic. Again, there's lots of useful and new information in here. So, parasitic bees, which is the type we're looking at here, I might highlight the word parasitic bees to remind myself that's what this paragraph is about. They have no body parts for collecting pollen. They don't feed or care for their offspring. Definitely makes them a different type of bee. And then how do they raise their young? Well, it says they sneak into the nests of related species to lay their eggs. So I might highlight that as important information. That says also that the larvae are not welcome. So I might actually highlight larvae that develop, not welcome, because they often have huge jaws and use them to kill larvae of their hosts. So the idea I'm trying to keep in my head here with my highlighting is that the larvae from the parasitic bee kills the host bee's eggs. It's kind of important, don't you think? There's a little bit more. I'd like you guys to read through this on your own and see if you can find some important ideas about the rest of the bee thing. Okay? When you are done, you can go to Richard or whoever the reliever teacher is for the day, and they have a fully highlighted copy of the bee life cycle that I have done. Now, I don't want you to go take it right away. I want you to actually finish highlighting on your own and then go get mine to use as a check if you'd like, a control to see if you had the same ideas as mine. If you had different ones highlighted, that's perfectly okay. But I want to make sure you caught the ones that I thought were important, and any other ones you have are also important to you as well. Okay? So, that is your Monday lesson. There will be another one on Tuesday, on Wednesday, and on Thursday, all through the glory of YouTube. Alright? Talk to you guys later. Bye!